Brian Knows is brought to you by Meats of the Round Table Podcast. Listen to your beefy bones, Jamie, John, and myself as we eat the meats and good eats all around Southern Maryland and beyond. Check us out on your favorite podcast platform as well as YouTube. That's at Meats of the Round Table, spelled MEATS.
Let's start the show. It's Ryan Knows. So kick back, relax, and let him guide your soul. Around the windy roads of life to take you high and low. Trials and tribulations and acquaintance you should get to know. So maybe let him in to get a better sense and open up your heart and your mind to find a better friend who's experienced a lot in life and isn't perfect. As he looks for purpose, a deeper meaning as we dreaming in between the circus and beneath the surface.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I know Kyle.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't say this was time for you to talk yet, Kyle. It's all right. I gotta give you a hard time. I give the boys off of Meats a hard time. Anyway, welcome to Brian Knows, Kyle. I'm excited you're here. I'm excited to talk to you about one of the many things that you're into, because I've known you for it's been at least a year, right?
Yeah, it's been a year.
Okay, so I know you because you work with my wife, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm so thankful and blessed for the fact that I've gotten to know you, because you are, what I have to say, is one of my youngest friends, but we're very like-minded on things. I feel like you have an older soul, and I really like that. And I feel like I got to know you by sharing food with you, right? So as I like to smoke different meats, Kyle seems to always be working when I'd bring him in for the people to try out that work at his job. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we get to talk about what you geek out about, right? One of your many things. So I'm excited about this, and maybe we'll get into other stuff, on another podcast or so, about the things that you also get nerdy about, right?
Yeah.
So I learned that nerdom is that style, that pizzazz about yourself because of this one thing or these things that make us special, that we find might be nerdy to other people but are really special to us, right? So it doesn't matter what it is to somebody else, but to us it's something that holds value. So I'm excited that we get to talk to you about that. But before we get into what makes you special and the thing that you get excited about, we're going to eat.
Okay.
So we have these chicken sandwiches. These are Banquet's mega fillets. I like them. So these were cooked in the oven, but you can put them in the air fryer. You can put them in, even in the microwave, they're good. So I gave you a regular one. I've got a spicy one. Okay. All right. And followed by some tater tots, because tater tots are awesome. And the thing is, we were talking today, Gavin, Shannon, and I were talking, and Gavin was talking about pizza fries. So Universal Studios during their Halloween Horror Nights does these things called pizza fries. No, pizza tots. Sorry, not pizza fries. You guys are looking at me like, what is he talking about?
I was a little confused.
Yeah, so it's like mozzarella cheese. Here's the sounds of the island. Mozzarella cheese and marinara and stuff like that. So it's just applying like simple things for pizza, but on tater tots. And tater tots, like, you can just
do
whatever.
whatever. Yeah.
So you want to ketchup, so that's it. So we're gonna so I've got mayonnaise. You have mayonnaise and lettuce on your chicken sandwich. So we're gonna cheers these. This is in honor of Meats of the Round Table. There we go. Now to do it, we got to get that ASMR bite. Mm-hmm. Shannon's favorite part, right into the microphone. So once you start chewing, let's try to get your first bite right in that microphone. Let's hear it. Oh man, that sounded good. It's awkward, isn't it? Right? Yes. This is my favorite part. Okay, here I go. Isn't it nice and awkward? Yeah. You're welcome. No? You gotta try. I didn't even get napkins.
It's all good.
Use your fingies. Tater tots. I'm dipping in the ketchup. There you go. Oh man, you got a good one on that. Yeah. All right. I want you to look at me while you're eating, Kyle's. It's too awkward. So this is going to be something different for you, because most guests, you're not eating, like when you're with friends and you're eating and you're talking, That's why I find it important to like to eat, to break bread with people. Why, when you get together, but they're not eating and talking at the same time. Like there's breaks, right?
Yeah.
Not on Brian knows. So we're not going to do that. So I want you to explain why you're here.
Okay.
Explain not why you're here. Like, well, one day my mom. No, explain what we're going to talk about today.
Got you. So today we're going to talk about world building and I guess the larger topic of fantasy writing, specifically for the purpose of a TTRPG like Dungeons and Dragons.
You said what?
TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game.
Tabletop role. See, now Adam didn't explain TTRPGCY, whatever. I don't know. Okay, tabletop role-playing.
Role-playing game, yeah.
Okay, TTRPG. All right. Do you have any tattoos that say TTRPG?
No, but I definitely want to get some tattoos. Not that specifically, but
okay. All right.
I'd get like a D20 tattoo.
I mean, you could have
somewhere.
like TTRPG on your. Okay, yeah. Anyway, no. Okay. So, Adams, we talked more about the role playing, and you're talking more about. We're getting into the world building, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you were explaining before that you're the dungeon master.
Yeah, the DM. So
The
I'm
DM. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one who's running the games. I'm the one writing the story.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing all that.
So how did you get into that role? Is that something you wanted to do as being the one that was going to create this world that you're in for that campaign, or how does it go?
So usually the role of DM is whoever wants to do it the most. There's usually people joke about it like, oh, it's the person who draws a short stick is the DM, but usually the person who's DM is the person who wants to do it the most. So I've always wanted to DM. I've been in the hobby since like 5th, 6th grade, since I was a kid.
Wow.
Like just, reading stories and writing and whatnot. But I've never got a chance to actually be a part of a campaign, like run a game for people until high school when I joined the D&D club. And now I'm currently in a year-long campaign with some of my friends.
Okay.
And I volunteered myself to be the DM because I love telling stories. I love running games. I like doing all the world building and the writing.
But you didn't look at it as a bad thing. Like you
Not at all.
You wanted to do it.
Yeah, I wanted to do it.
So some
DMs,
people it's just not for them. They want to create their character and just play. But you like it because I know this, that you're very creative. Like that's another way for you to kind of get this out.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's definitely DMing definitely is a creative outlet.
Okay. So when it starts, so how long is it? You said the campaign you're in now has been for a year?
Almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in the
Wow.
spring. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
All right. So while you're in a campaign, are you kind of working on the ideas for another campaign, or is it like maybe like ideas pop in and you write it? Like I see you have some notepads and you have your laptop. So will you like jot ideas like this might be fun, or is this something that has to start with the different players? You're going to be playing with these certain individuals, right? Like, are these ideas that you're bouncing off with them before you start going into that world?
So it's a little bit of both. For me, it was I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I went to my players. At the beginning, it was just me and 3 other friends. And I was like, hey, I want to run a pirate-themed campaign. And from there, I just started writing. I started the world building. I started writing out a story. And as it's gone along, I've added to it and I've changed things based on my players' input. So they might have like a backstory that they want to get incorporated into the story. So I'll go in and I'll add that in, or I'll change something so it fits better. On the topic of another campaign, for me at least, I have toyed with the idea of a second campaign. I know how it would start and how it would connect to this one, but not always. For some people, it's just they just focus on one. And
do campaigns have to lead into the next one?
Not at all.
So it can be totally different. So allow for the players to create brand new characters. So when you're discussing these ideas and it seems to go a different path, is this during the game that you're playing that you see this, or is this like prior conversation or something post from one of your sessions that you're playing, or how does that work, or is that just in friend talk when you're talking to your friends?
I'd say 90% of the time I'm sitting down thinking of ideas and I'm like, this is such a cool idea. This could be for campaign 2. Or if I have something I want to like, obviously, like I said, this is a pirate themed campaign we're running. If I want to run something that's like a desert theme or a more Western theme, then I'd be like, okay, that'd be a good idea for campaign 2 or something like that. Or a one-shot adventure, something that's just kind of off to the side.
So in the campaign that you're at now, are there twists and turns that you can add on as you're going? you can.
Yes, yeah.
But they don't. The other players don't have to know about it.
Not at all.
So,
There
or
have-
is it better if they don't?
Yeah, it's better if they don't. There have been many twists that I've put in that they didn't know about. There have been some that one player knew about, but the rest of them didn't. For example, one player wanted a part of his backstory to be like in his past, he was like this really evil person. And he has kind of like two personalities, and one of them's really bad, one of them's really good. And that was a twist me and him talked about. And the other players didn't know about it. But a lot of the other twists have been things that I've written that I'm like, I want to surprise them with this.
Have you done stuff where you really made somebody mad because like a certain way you were going with it?
Not mad, but I've made someone cry.
Why?
So there's this one character, her name is Evergreen. She's this archmage that the players were kind of friendly with. And there's this villain known as the Weaver, is kind of like their code name, I guess. And I revealed that they were the same person. So it's kind of like this betrayal. And I was like playing really creepy music at the time. The scene was really like everyone was really into it, the role play. And it made one of the players cry. And for me as a DM,
dude.
I'm like, yes, I made it. Like
I get it. No, I get it. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. When you start creating these worlds, like what are the key elements that you see that you want to put it into it? Like is it geographical? Is it, like give me some examples. Like okay, so the campaign that you're on now, you knew that you wanted to go for pirates. Is that where it started? Was that like the first thing?
Yeah, that was the initial idea, is because I've always loved pirates since I was a kid. I have on my jacket, I don't know if you could see it all that well. I kind of skull and
I see
crossbones.
pirates, yeah.
Yeah.
Did
I've always
you
loved
take
pirates.
that from a pirate?
I wish I did.
Okay. Do you know what a pirate's favorite fast food restaurant is? Arby's.
That's funny.
That was bad. You're just my friend, and you're being nice. Like
I mean, it's funny.
It's like a dad joke.
It's a
almost.
dad
just-
joke. That's why it's
just
funny.
A bad joke. Okay,
Dad's making
all right.
dad jokes.
Dad's making dad jokes. Yeah. Cheers. Eat some food. Eat some food. Okay. So you knew you wanted to start. You wanted to start with this pirate theme. Did you know the area? Like, is there a certain area, or that you kind of got inspired by, or is this place just completely made up?
Completely made up, all
Okay.
from scratch.
So what did this place called?
So I can pull it up here.
He's opening his notes. He's got. I mean, this is intense. So he's got a map. Did you design this map?
Yeah. So
Okay. All right.
I drew this map.
Okay.
So this is called Tathesia, or as most people call it, just Thesia. Drop the
All right.
first
We're
C.
gonna throw this into the graphics so they'll be able to see that.
Okay.
Okay.
So the way that I came about this is I went online. There's tons of random map generators you can find online.
Okay.
So I generate a few maps, and then I take them and I overlay them across each other to kind of get shapes that I like. And then I'll trace around it, get the geometry, and then I'll start adding in, okay, I want a mountain range here, or I want a river here. And then after I get the kind of geography in, then I'll go where the city's placed. I'll place a city here, or I'll place a town here.
Okay.
And then I'll just kind of go from there. So it's called bottom-up world building is kind of the term. There's two kinds of world building, bottom-up and top-down. Bottom-up is I'm starting with kind of small things and getting larger. So I'll start with a town, then it'll go to a country, then it'll go to a kingdom, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Top-down is I'll start with the big land and then get smaller and smaller.
Okay.
And I kind of did a little bit of both. Like I said, I started with the land, but then I went and I picked a town, I picked a city, and I said, okay, I'm going to start designing and figuring out what's in that city.
Okay.
And then I'll go to the next one and I'll do that, and I'll go to the next one. And that's how I slowly built this entire
How long was
province.
that process to build the world?
It's still ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Now, does everybody start at the same place or no?
in my campaign, everyone started in the same place. Yeah.
Okay, so that's up to you. The DM decides where everyone starts.
Pretty much.
Okay.
The players have input on it. They could be like, oh, I don't want to start with a party. I want to start somewhere else. But for my campaign, everyone started in the same city.
Okay. All right. So with building the world, what are the key things? So you have a theme, you know where you want. You start creating this, you start creating your map. What else do you keep in mind when you're doing this? Like in the get-go.
For
I
me,
said get-go, but not gecko. Just making sure that's clear.
For me, the thing that I'm always keeping in the back of my mind is the fact that I'm building this world to tell stories, and all stories need conflict. So I'm always trying to think about whenever I make an area, what conflict is going on, whether it's active or kind of in the background. I always need some kind of conflict. It could be something as big as a war, or it could be something as small as two political rivals that have a disagreement.
Okay.
So there's this one city the players are currently in called Laughmore, where the city has this very big mafia presence.
Oh.
And they have kind of this politician in their back pocket.
Is this pirate mafia or just mafia?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
They have a sailing crew.
Okay.
So they have this politician in their back pocket, and this other politician comes on, and he wants to take over, and the mafia doesn't want that to happen. So there's clear conflict there that can lead to all kinds of stories to be told
Okay.
from that. Yeah.
Now, does a DM have a character too, or no?
Technically, the DM plays every character. I am playing the role of every NPC and monster the players come across.
Oh,
But-
no. Wait. Okay. Do you make voices?
Absolutely. That's one of my
Yes.
favorite parts.
Okay, so you're playing online, like what Adam was talking about on this online, this place that you guys are all playing, right?
We started in person, and then we moved to online because people went to
Okay.
college and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're able to share this. They're viewing whatever you want them to see, right? You're sharing a screen. Is that
Yeah.
how it works?
Most of the time, it's just camera. Like, I just have my camera on. But if I need them to see something, then I'll share my screen and I'll send them a picture.
Okay, and you said like you'll play music. You'll do. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. See, that's really cool. And so you get into the characters, right?
Yeah.
You have voices for different people.
For important people, I have a specific voice.
Does any of them sound like Gollum?
Not yet.
Not yet.
One of my
Okay.
players does.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. All right. I think that's really cool. Okay. So, are there any other elements that you keep in mind when you're designing the world?
Nothing specific. So there are certain things for certain areas where I'll be like, I want to keep this in mind. Like in Thesia, I want to keep in mind that this is meant to be a tropical region. This is meant to be very seafaring societies that are in this area. So I'll keep that in mind. But overall, a lot of personal biases go into world building, like any writing. Like me, I care a lot about politics. So there's a lot of political issues that make it into my world building, either intentional
That's cool.
or unintentional.
Okay.
So yeah, that is kind of always on my mind, I
Do-
guess.
When you're starting this, do you have an idea of how long that campaign is going to be? Or is it hard to say because since you have this map, you can keep adding. You can even also go back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have a set like time limit. Like, hey, we're gonna go for a year. We're gonna go for 2 years. But I do have a story structure planned out. Like, this is gonna be the rising action. This is gonna be the climax of the story. This is gonna be the falling action, etc.
That's awesome. Okay.
But I don't have a time limit because sessions can go. Like, in a 3-hour session, we can cover 5 months of in-game time, or we can cover 3 hours of in-game time in
Wow,
a 3-hour
okay,
session.
okay.
So it really it depends there.
So you have like this basic outline when you're creating these worlds as a DM, and you know this is what I want. You know that you want conflict. You know this is the area you want them to be in. Anything else that goes into that? I mean, you said sometimes the story will change, and it's based off of certain things that the other players want to put in there. Will they make comments while you're playing the game, or is that like everyone's in character mode?
No, for our group, definitely not. Just because I'm playing with a bunch of people this is their first time playing a TTRPG.
Okay.
So they're not going to be super strict on staying in character, and I'm not super strict on them staying in character.
Okay.
So very much they'll make comments about, what they might know, or sometimes I'll ask them like, "Hey, does your character know this region? Would this be in your backstory, etc., etc."
Now, are there when you're playing the game as the DM, are there difficult decisions that you have to make? Like, I mean, maybe not every game, but like certain games, or maybe a situation that you remember where you're like, I could go this way or maybe that way. I mean, or maybe accept something that you typically wouldn't accept, saying yes, I'll let that be.
Oh yeah, for sure. There are a lot of times where like rules, like I'm not a very rules heavy kind of person. I put the narrative first. I'm all about the storytelling. If the rules get in the way, then we'll bypass the rules to keep the story going.
Okay. And you have the say on that.
Yeah, I have the say on that.
Okay.
So I don't think there's ever been a point where I've gotten upset. There have been little moments where I'm like, oh, I really don't want this to happen yet, but I have to because it's what the character would do, or it's what the NPC would do.
Okay.
Like the whole, like I mentioned earlier, the reveal that the two people were the same person. I didn't plan on that happening that early. That was supposed to be like really late in the campaign. But the action the players took and where they were in the story, I was like, it makes
You
the
didn't
most
have a
sense.
choice.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. Now, obviously, I could always just say, no, I'm not going to let that happen yet. But I want to stay true to the narrative. I want to be as authentic with these characters as possible and tell the story as authentic
Okay.
as possible.
Now, are there challenges that you face as the DM?
Yeah, a lot of it is multitasking. That's probably the hardest part because I have so much on my plate as the DM, both during a session and outside of a session. Like outside of a session, I'm constantly writing. I'm constantly thinking of ideas and planning and prepping the next session. During the session, I'm constantly checking rules and checking enemy stat blocks and monster stat blocks and making sure I have my notes in order and making sure my players are.
But the other players don't have to worry about this.
Not really. They just got to make sure they're doing what they got to do on their player side. You know,
Okay.
just tracking their character sheet. That's about it.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I mean, is there like a certain setback that happened that you can recall where you feel like you learned something that actually, was very valuable to you, even though maybe at the time it was like, what am I going to do?
I can't say there was a specific moment. It was more just little things here and there that have added up over the year. Like I can look back and say, like, man, like I was so inexperienced at the beginning of this, and now, like where I am now, I'm so much better as a DM. Like my skills have improved, my ideas have gotten better, the way I run games have gotten smoother.
Okay.
I'd say the biggest lesson I've learned has been just kind of go with the flow, right? Like I'm not going to be in control of everything. I'm not going to be in control of the story even because this is a collaborative thing, right? It's people coming together to tell a story. And I just have to go with that flow and just do, what's the most fun. Stop worrying about having control and just worry about having fun because that's what
So
D&D is about.
what's the biggest thing that you take out of it? Like what's the biggest thing that Kyle likes about creating these worlds?
Just a creative outlet, honestly. It just gives me a chance to get ideas out on paper. It gives me a chance to share stories with people.
Okay.
There's even kind of the escapist aspect of it of kind of, I could forget about work. I could forget about life and all this and just enjoy playing a game with some friends for
Right,
3 hours or
and
so.
the cool thing is that like you get to go into that role of a role player when you're these NPCs. That's non-player character.
Yeah, non-player character.
Look at me. Wow. So you get to kind of get into your head of what would they think like, right? Or
Yeah.
what would they do? Okay. What's the weirdest NPC that you have going on right now? Like that really kind of took your mind to another place.
Honestly, it would be Evergreen. She's not only my favorite, but I think she's the most fun to role play. She's kind of the current villain.
Okay.
She's not meant to be. She's not
Are
the
all NPCs villains or no?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right.
There's like I have a handful of villains, but the rest of them are just different people. Like how you go down the street, see different people. But she'd be probably what I'd say is the weirdest one because of how just interesting her backstory is, which I can't say on here because my players might watch
No,
this.
yeah, no, don't.
But her backstory and trying to get into her mindset and the way she thinks, it's just weird. She's just a really weird person.
Are any of the NPCs inspired by real life
Absolutely.
people?
There
That's
have been
awesome.
many NPCs that have been inspired by real life people. Some of them inspired by my players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like this, we're running a session soon. It's either going to be tonight or later this week where they're going to meet an NPC that's inspired by a real life person.
Okay. But you don't tell them who.
Not
right?
at all.
Yeah, right.
Some of them they don't
That's
even
what-
know. Some of them they'll be
Okay.
like, they'll meet themselves and they don't even know.
They have no clue.
No idea.
There's not like traits that are like, that kind of reminds me of, Fumperwink. That's not a real. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe now I want you to create an NPC named Fumperwink. All right,
Okay,
so
I could do that.
Let's think about Fumperwink real quick. All right, so Fumperwink, I would like him to be green. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'd like him to kind of be. I'd like him to be a cave dwelling troll.
Okay.
Are there caves in this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Fumperwink is a cave dwelling troll. He only has like one group of hair, kind of like this one lock, right? That just comes out, but it's like I want it to be right in his forehead. So it comes down, but it keeps every time he talks, like he opens his mouth, it gets caught in his mouth. So when you are this character, you put one of your locks in your mouth. Okay. But I want him to seem like he has this major grudge on his, this major grudge on his back, but he's actually very kind and he's there to help people.
Okay.
Okay, so that's Fumperwing.
And see, what you did is world building, and that's why I love it so much, because it's so fun to just think of an idea.
Am I the new DM?
You could be.
I'm not. But I'm not. Yeah. Okay.
But it's so fun to just think of an idea and just go with it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what world building's all about. It's all about creating a setting and whatnot.
That's cool. Like, so, I mean, the thing is, you can keep going back farther and farther and farther with the NPCs, with the worlds, or with the world in the certain, do you look at them as regions, or do you look at them as, like, geographically, like, what do you call them? Like, are they different cities? Or
So Thesia, I kind of consider it to be its own, like, province, I guess, of many that exist in the world.
And you made up this name.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a providence. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So Thesia is kind of just one province of many that exist in the world. And I did that on purpose. I wanted to leave the map cut off. I didn't want to do the whole world because I feel like I'd be boxing myself in for stories that I want to tell in the future. I like to leave. That's just kind of a world building style that I do. I like to leave things very open ended, so I have opportunities to tell different stories in the future.
Now, do you get inspired by other DMs, or maybe like whether it's YouTube, you know, or like seeing how they work? Because I'm sure everyone's different. Every DM has to be different, unless they're totally copying somebody else. I don't know how that works. I mean, so I could reference that with magicians. Like, there was always this period of time, I'm not sure if it's still like that, when most magicians get into magic from a magician named David Copperfield. I don't know if you know about David Copperfield because he was of my time.
I've heard the name.
Okay. So he'd have these specials that would come on, and as people got into magic, they would copy or mimic David Copperfield, even to the way he would dress. So he'd wear like black jeans or black pants and a white collared shirt, and the collar was popped, and he didn't have a mullet, but like that style hair. And magicians were just mimicking it forever. And I don't think it's because that's what worked for them, but that's who they idolized, right? So they were doing stuff. I think some it was done on purpose, but a lot of people it wasn't. So I don't know if that same thing applies with, you know, with DMs.
Very much so. I'd
say
wow. There are, and it depends on the person. Not everyone's gonna copy the same DM, but there are a lot of new DMs. I think is the biggest thing. A lot of new DMs who are fans of, you know, there's like the big three of DMs are Matthew Mercer, who runs Critical Role, Brandon Lee Mulligan, who runs Dimension 20, and Abrina Irongar, who's a part of Dimension 20, but she does her own game. Those are like the big three of DMs right now.
Okay.
And a lot of people who are new to DMing, they get in through these podcasts, through these shows, and they'll mimic those DMs, either intentionally or unintentionally. And as a DM, I always had my own style.
Okay.
And I think as you DM longer, you're going to get your own style. But what I've noticed throughout the years is I've unintentionally picked up certain traits from DMs that I like. Like
that makes sense.
Yeah, like my favorite D&D podcast is one called Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast.
Dungeons and Daddies?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the DM for that one is Anthony Birch. And he has a very specific style of DMing that I've noticed I've kind of taken some traits from unintentionally. Like I'll be DMing and I'm like, wow, I just did something that's very similar to Anthony Birch. But
I get it. I mean, that's inspired. That's, you know, that makes sense. As long as you're not intentionally trying to do something like that. I mean, that makes sense. So if somebody wants to get into being a dungeon master, right? What's your first suggestion? Is it, you know, play D&D first and then go from there, see if, you know, are there ideas that pop up? Because I'm sure it's not for everybody, right? Not everyone's going to be this creative writer that wants to, you know, put these stories out.
Yeah. DMing, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So DMing definitely isn't for everyone. I would recommend trying it out though. Like I've made almost every one of my players DM at least one session, just a one shot, just so they have that experience. I'd recommend trying it out. The way you'd get into it really depends on you. Like I got into it, like I said, I always loved writing in fantasy world since I was a kid. I always loved telling stories. So that's how I got into it, is I would just start writing out stories for, you know, players that I didn't have yet. So when I finally got the chance to have players, I was like, okay, cool. But I'd say the best way to get into DMing, if you know you want to do it, is go find a group of players who have experience and run the game for them. Because if they have experience, they're going to be able to help you out with rules. They're going to be able to aid you in certain things, and it's going to take a lot of the pressure off of you, and you can solely focus on the story and running the game. So that'd be my biggest piece of advice. Go find a group of players who have a bit of experience, who have played the game for a little bit, and go ask to, you know, run a game for them.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I want to try something.
Okay.
I don't know why. So I've got some of these fun buttons. They're voice changers.
Okay.
All right. I want you to get into. I'm going to surprise you with a voice, and I want you to get into one of your NPCs.
Okay, this is gonna be hard.
It's okay. It's okay. But it's going to be even more awkward because I want you to stare at the camera while you do it. Oh man.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't know what I'm going to give you. Okay.
Am I going off based off what the voice is?
No, I just want you to get. We're gonna do 3 of them.
Okay.
Okay, 3 NPCs. You're not gonna know what the voice is supposed to be, whether it's male, female, monster. I don't know. So, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get you.
All right. Ooh. My name is Ramsey. I'm a bard. I'm blind. I can't see anything, as you can see, but I'm really, really good at playing my fiddle. I go around all the time. I'm on these ships, and I'm just playing my fiddle for these pirates. And I joined this one group. This guy is real big. His name's Salas. He's my boss, but he ain't too good of a boss. But it's all right. And I'm playing my fiddle for this group, and they really like me, so they keep me there. And I really like them because they give me food and a place to stay. So it's pretty, it works out there. It's real nice for us.
Alright. I am Godric Silverblood. I'm the son of this really rich guy. Money you've never seen in your life. Money you'll never see. You'll never see this kind of wealth ever.
Alright. Okay. Oh, another high pitch one. My name is Grungy. I'm a little dwarf. Not a dwarf, I'm a gnome. And I'm really good. I really like worms. I love worms. Actually, love worms. They're my friends. I do have a group of friends, but the worms are my true friends. They're like, it's like family almost. I'm like one of them. I love my people friends, especially Granny April, but I think I like worms more.
All right, that was just okay. So the second one was like that was monsters what it said on there, and I'm like that just not. This is a little too creepy.
Didn't work.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. I think you need like a voice changer for your stuff. So I think that'll help you. It helps you even get into the. That was awesome. Get into the role even more. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
All right. So what'd you think of the chicken sandwich again? So it's the Banquet's mega fillets. Was it crispy?
It was good.
Yeah.
Again, I can't really talk and eat, so I didn't eat much of it. But
This is your forced. Yeah, I'm sorry.
but it was good. I was hungry. I haven't eaten all day, so this was.
You have had nothing?
No, I woke up late. That's why.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had that problem sometimes. That doesn't. What's your do you cook stuff at home?
I do. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Like your go-to? I
My
don't know what it might
go-to
be.
is non-instant instant ramen.
Whoa. Non-instant instant ramen. So this is ramen that you boil. No?
Well, I don't just boil it, but
Okay.
I'll take those.
So let's talk
instant-
about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take those instant ramen bowls.
These are just the bowls.
Yeah, the bowl ones.
Okay. All right.
I'll take those and I'll get all my ingredients, which are soy sauce, mirin, sesame seed oil, oyster sauce, and Worcestershire sauce, which is, I know, left
How
field.
did you come up with this combination? You just started adding and adding?
Yeah, I just started.
Okay,
I
wow.
literally went in the pantry and I was like, okay, what's
Wow.
like the Asian flavored thing? And I just started grabbing sauces and I put them in. And over time, I got this recipe. So I put all the stuff in. I take the bowl. I put all the stuff from the bowl in the pot. Then I put all my sauces in. I do just 1 spoonful of everything, but I do 1.5 spoonfuls of Worcestershire, and I did 2 spoonfuls of this soy sauce. Put that in there. Then I'll chop up some green onions and some mushrooms. Put that in there. Let it boil, and then I'll throw an egg in there to boil because I like boiled egg in my ramen. Once the egg's done, take that out. Put the noodles in. Let that boil. Then put all that in a bowl. I'll go cook whatever protein I want. I usually use Spam because it's cheap and it's easy to make.
Spam's great.
It is good. I like Spam. I haven't had it before, but
So we talked about the other day, me and my friend talked about making freeze-dried Spam bites.
that sounds interesting.
Dude, I feel like they'd be very salty croutons. Like, anyway, okay, all right. So how long does this whole process take?
I haven't timed it. That's a good question. Probably like 12, 15 minutes maybe.
That's it?
Yeah.
It's like gourmet.
The longest thing it takes is boiling the egg, which is like usually 6 to 8 minutes, depending on how you like it. So, yeah.
That really sounds good.
It is good. So it's not as instant as, the 2 minutes, but it's,
I get it. That's okay. That's okay. All right. So, wow. I'm really blown away by that. I mean, I wish I was. Mine's like peanut butter jelly most of the time. I mean, like, I can cook, and I love smoking meats and stuff. And, like, smoking Spam, by the way, is amazing. It's really good. You can get a bark on the Spam.
that sounds good.
So, wow, that sounds really good. I'm really blown away by that. So I like to have these meals that I call secret meals. This is a fast food meal. This is when no one's in your car, no one knows you're eating it. There's no judgment, right? Do you ever have these times?
I do, but it's usually late at night. I'm a night
Okay, that's
owl.
fine. That's fine. What is the fast food place you're going to?
Fast
number
food
one.
place?
Yeah.
Number one? Ugh, it's either Wendy's or Taco Bell.
Those are two different things.
I know.
Which one outweighs the other, or does it depend
Wendy's.
on Wendy's? Okay, so you're going to Wendy's. What is your secret meal?
I get the chicken wrap with the ranch chicken, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I get fries, 4-piece nugget, and
There's no judgment. Don't feel bad.
and a large Sprite. That's my
Okay,
go-to.
That sounds good.
I have a weirder one though. It's not a fast food one.
No, tell me though.
So if I like my actual secret meal is the one like I don't tell people I eat this.
Yeah, you're just telling the World Wide Web. Just saying.
It'll be 3 a.m. I'm hungry. I'll go into the kitchen. I'll get a can of chunked chicken breast. The canned ones.
Yeah.
Drain the water out. Put that in a bowl. Take Chick-fil-A sauce. Put it on top and just eat that.
Yeah, I no judgment. I mean, you have found something that works. I have some weird stuff, but I can't recall it right now. So I get it.
That's like my actual secret meal.
So I used to have this one meal. This one, I called it a snack, but I would eat it for hours. I would go to Giant because Giant had this. It was like a red. I want to say it was a red. It was caviar. This little glass container was like $7. Now the key with caviar, I realized, to be classy, you need to use a plastic spoon so it does not pop the caviar. And then I would put it on Ritz crackers. So the buttery cracker with caviar, so it's that salty with that savory butter. Incredible. Like it is like, I don't know. I call it like my bougie college meal. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. Okay. Well, that sounds good. I'm not sure about the chicken one. So
Neither am I.
all right. Okay. So I want to get into something that we are helping push here on Brian Knows. My buddy Wayne is doing a fundraiser for Special Olympics. He is doing the Polar Bear Super Plunge. Have you ever heard of the Polar Bear Plunge?
I've heard of the Polar
So
Plunge.
the Super Plunge is different. For 24 hours, every hour on the hour, Wayne will get into the water in Annapolis. This is freezing cold water. I did the Polar Plunge once. My feet had a feeling that I've never felt before. So there's a fundraiser because Wayne is trying to Wayne is trying to raise $10,000. So one of the ways he's doing it is there is going to be a fundraiser. There's a way that you can donate online to Wayne. If you do, please let him know you heard about it on Brian Knows. Anything you can give is awesome. It's going towards Special Olympics, so it's going toward a great cause. The fundraiser is going to be in Waldorf. It's going to be at the Waldorf Moose Lodge on December 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. There's a live and silent auction. The entry is $20 a person, but you do get a chicken dinner with that. So make sure you check it out. Support them. Help them get closer to that $10,000. So, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so we hope he does it. Look at this, Wayne. There's your face popping up right now. All right. I got a gift for you, Kyle.
Okay.
I appreciate you coming on here as a guest. Also, Kyle, thank you for helping Kyle help make this table, so I appreciate that. Ooh, yeah, don't do that. You're fired now. I have for you, Kyle, in this canister, I don't know what it is, a skull. Reach in here. You get, don't look, but just reach in. Grab anyone. You get a BKB, your very own BKB.
Nice.
Show everybody, show the camera, get nice and close. You get your Brian Knows baby. That is your BKB.
Going right here in the breast pocket.
Yes, make sure you know where you keep it. That's important.
Well, I have something for you.
For me.
Yes. I made this.
This is
For
exciting.
the show. A little sign to put here that says Brian Knows.
That is awesome.
First time you're seeing it.
I like it. Brian Knows. We're going to put it right. Yeah, we're going to
there?
hook it up there. We'll put it somewhere over there. Awesome.
There we
Thank
go.
you. Look at that for the man shed.
I can sit there.
Brian knows. I like the way it feels.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of coats to make it pop on the black fabric.
Well, it looks beautiful. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Of
We're going to
course.
put that right here, right now. Let's see if we can make that. There we go. All right, perfect. Thank you for coming on here, Kyle. I appreciate it. Thank you for
having
teaching me about being a D&D and creating worlds. I'm going to create my own world inside the bathroom in a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, to the Meets of the Roundtable podcast channel. That's right. Click on the button. That way you're notified, not just on YouTube, but on your favorite podcast platform. Give it 5-star review on your favorite platform. Tell everybody about it. Leave a comment on YouTube. Let us know what you think. If you have something you want to add, we appreciate it. Thank you to the people that have been commenting and liking and subscribing and sharing. So make sure you rate and review it. 5 stars. Tell other people about it, and make sure you check out in the links. There's a link to the online store for the Meets of the Roundtable podcast. There's lots of stuff on there, and you can see that pretty graphic that's right there, my face. You can get that on there as well. Anything you want to close with, Kyle?
Nothing specific.
All right, good.
Thanks for watching the show.
Thanks for coming on, buddy. Thank you for being a part of our life. I'm glad that you're in our family's life. You have definitely been a godsend to us. We appreciate you. You were an awesome person. Thank you guys for watching. This is Brian Knows Kyle.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Brian knows, yeah, Brian knows. Good food, good ideas, that's how it goes.
Hey, Kyle. I want you to look into the camera and say, I'm Kyle and Brian knows me. Perfect. Bye, everybody.